Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Qualified Podcast. With me today is Alex from the Faithful Cleaners. Has a partner, Elijah, couldn't be with us today. So, Alex, you will be answering all the questions and telling us about your guys' wonderful business.
I'm excited, man. It's gonna be
Awesome.
fun.
Thanks for joining. I know you've watched a couple episodes before. You know how this kind of goes. Let's jump right in. Your background. Where were you born? Where'd you grow up? Stuff like that.
Yeah, man. Born and raised McKinney, Texas. Not the typical image of a Texan. Never worn a cowboy hat. Never rode a horse. Just two-step for the first time last year, which I enjoyed. So, yeah, dude. Born and raised here. Love the place. It's that perfect in between of like, it's not out in the boonies, but you're not out in the city. You can still go out on a cul-de-sac and like grew up, just walking outside and playing with kids, which, you don't get to do that nowadays. Most kids are head down in the iPad, head down in the phone, but I had a bike, I got to ride around, be home by the lights turning off. And it's a good childhood, man.
Yeah, that's the dream. With my daughter now, I'm like, how can I have that raising, back in the 90s, early 2000s, being outside nonstop. I see my nephews growing up, nothing wrong with it because it's with the time, but like iPads, YouTube, nonstop video games. I'm like, right now we're a no screen household. Like it's funny, if we go out to a restaurant and there's TVs on, she's like,
what is that?
Yeah, she's quiet the whole time just because the TVs are on, and she doesn't get that at home, which is kind of nice, but also at the same time iffy or weird to see,
It's a difficult way of doing it because the easiest thing is to put an iPad in front of the kid and they're just like, everything's taken care of. You don't have to worry about them. They're just so entranced in it. But I think eventually it catches up. It's not good long term, and the easiest solution often isn't the best one. So
for sure. And with the way schools are now, they're not giving books. You're getting a Chromebook laptop. Everything's preloaded on there. So at some point or another, when she gets to school, she'll be with technology all the time. So at home, no tech. And it's funny being in a software company, being surrounded by tech, being like no tech household. I'm like, it's hard. It's hard, but it's nice. Growing up, riding your bike, when people asked you, what do you want to do? What do you want to be when you grow up? What was your thing? Did you know you wanted to be in business or, astronaut, firefighter, something like that?
Yeah, I think it jumped around a lot. I never looked too far into the future. I think the moment when I realized that I wanted to, I think it wasn't so much going to business. It was, I don't want to be stuck at a job every day doing the same thing over and over and in one place. Like I realized I wanted to travel, and I saw my parents too. They made good money, but the thing is they were so busy, and whenever they got home, it was turn on the TV, eat fast food, and they're just so cooked from work, And I realized I don't want to, and they complain about work too. And so I was like, I want to do something I love, number one. And I don't want to have to spend my downtime like recovering from work. And so that got me into, okay, what would I genuinely like to do? And I couldn't think of like, I don't have an interest in anything specific that I'm like, I would love to do. I love to research like the human body. I'd love to be around animals. I'd love to go, I don't know. And so it's just like, well, I would love to travel. I'd love to go skydive with my friends. I'd love to go and just
live life essentially, right?
And so business just seemed like the way to go. And I was looking at, things I could bootstrap easily. So, that's kind of what got me into that. And it's one of those things that looking back, that decision became like a conscious thing, like sophomore year of high school. But looking back, I was like, I would jump on like the Minecraft servers as a kid, and I loved the economy in Minecraft servers. I'd go and sell the lemonade on the streets. I'd have different knickknacks I'd sell in the house. So I was like the kid that would run the grocery store, and like with my parents and be like, "You want to buy this? Like, you want to buy this, and it costs this much," with like the playthings. So looking back, I can see the breadcrumbs of that's what I was built for business. But yeah, it was that, like, what do I really want? And it wasn't a specific thing in life. Well, owning a business gives me the freedom to be able to go and travel and do those things.
It's, like you said, watching your parents, that grind of the 9 to 5, overtime, coming home, trying to raise a family, but being burnt out. It's super hard, but motivational for you because you get to help reciprocate that back to them and be like, all right, now you spent all that time, building up a life for me. Now here's my business. I can help you and move forward and live life, right? Go do these experiences. And that's what it's all about. It's not, the passion isn't the cleaning business. You're not passionate about, connecting cleaners with homeowners who need their houses. It's not that. The passion is business, building something that you're helping others, whether it's earning the income being the cleaner or, the homeowner who needs their house cleaned, right? It's the passion that you can help facilitate that, and you're building something, and then you're reciprocating back to your family.
Yeah, I always told my parents from when I was a kid that I was going to. They were like, "Yeah, we'd love to go live in Europe." I'm like, "I'm gonna be able to buy you guys a house in Barcelona one day. Like that's my dream. Like that's my goal. I want to do that." And it's tough to do that in almost any 9 to 5 unless you're the top of the top. Nowadays with AI engineers, you can pay like $1 million a year right now. Maybe I should have got into that. But no, you're still stuck to a job. So
right.
Freedom, man. That freedom. It's not about the cleaning business. It is about serving people. I love serving people and making sure people are well taken care of in whatever business, but it's not the specific vehicle. It's what the vehicle allows you to do with your own life,
And that's huge. They're saying now that the biggest shift in business ownership was it the boomers to now our generation? They're all retiring, but it's their kids don't want the businesses. So now they're either shutting down. So there's opportunity for others to come in and start a new, whether it's HVAC or cleaning, construction, whatever it may be in that location, or you can buy it from somebody. And, the Google reviews are there. Or if it's not, the reputation is there. And now with the technical know-how that we all know, setting up a Google profile and running, lead gen stuff. So it's huge. It's huge to be able to do that and see. And now my nephew is about to go into high school. I'm like, if you don't want to do college, trade, plumbing, electric, something, and you don't have to necessarily own the business. It would be beneficial for you, but it seems like trade school now is the biggest way to go.
Yeah. I mean, realizing I wanted to go into business, that the kind of business, like my first business was drop shipping, and like there's no college course on drop shipping. There's no college course in e-com at the time, like 2017. And to be able to even go to college to learn the skills necessary, like marketing, sales, branding, process efficiency, like how do I lead people, to do that in college is more textbook. Like, let me read something. And you got to do history, science, like all these other math and all these other things that I didn't want to have to do those, hatefully, basically just trying to get to the better classes that I actually wanted. So ended up dropping out and just reading books and applying. Like, I'm not going to read this book without applying. I'm going to go and learn from people like you that are in it, that are doing it, and just go. And I've got $500. Like, let me see what I can do, And so, yeah. And with the boomer businesses like that are, kids don't want to take it on. My parents, they tried to do a martial arts gym, and it was like their one business venture outside of their 9 to 5. And I remember me and my little brother, like maybe 2 years into their business, they're like, "Yeah, we want to build a legacy for you guys, for you and your brother, that you'd be able to take this over one day." And I looked and I said, I don't want to do this. And the reason why is because it's not like they own a business. I mean, they do, but they're owners, but they're owner operators. So not only are they working more and now their money is at risk, the money's on the line, but it's not even 9 to 5. Now they have their 9 to 5. Now they have this, which goes outside of their 9 to 5, and they're not even sure they're going to make money from it.
24/7.
It's just, 24/7, like constantly on call, and all the stress and all the issues that come from that. I mean, if someone like one of my parents said to me, hey, here's a business that we own, we want to pass it on to you, versus here's a business that we're the operators of. It's not a 9 to 5. It's worse than a 9 to 5, and your money's on the line and things are constantly shifting. There's a big difference. And you see that in cleaning businesses too, of being an owner operator, which you're going to be in the beginning. It's just inevitable. You need to learn the business. You need to start it up. You need to run it. But the goal is to eventually work into a spot where you're not operating the business. You're overseeing it. You're not doing everything. You're supervising everyone else, your team that is doing everything, and checking in and making sure that you're providing direction to go forward. So that's the problem I see with most of the businesses that, are being, that talk about, just boomers giving businesses to, or selling, or giving, like wanting to pass it on to their kids. It's worse than a 9 to 5,
Yeah. You're stuck. That's essentially, you're stuck doing it 24/7. And what happens when all the money's tied up? Nobody's signing up for classes, and inevitably, potentially, that you'd have to shut it down and go back into a 9 to 5, and now you have to recoup all the money that you lost.
Yeah, wrecked them. It wrecked so many businesses. Wrecked them, especially. They just gotten to profitable, and they're like, oh my gosh! And then literally the next month, COVID wiped out 2/3 of the base. People couldn't stop. Like, what do we do? Do we go to online? Do we do this? And I'm watching all their hard work just like snap of the fingers. So it just happens in those kind of businesses where you're the owner operator and you're in it, you're day in, day out.
So, do they still have the business now?
No, they ended up selling it. It was when they realized, like, me and my brother don't want to eventually take over it. All the issues, the headwinds they ran into, like in the cleaning business, let's say a cleaner moves or drops out or whatever, like you fill that house with a different cleaner and you introduce the cleaner and such. The thing about like martial arts business is that the instructor is, he's what most people fall in love with. If you have a bad instructor, people aren't going to want to stay. The students don't want to stay. And when you have a great instructor, people love that instructor, and they're more tied to the instructor than they are to the company.
So they'll follow the instructor when they leave.
Twice we had instructors, even with non-competes, go and steal half the students and start their own school. And then the instructors thought, oh, I'm just going to do it my own, make more money. And then they also, taking the students, not realizing how much it takes to run the business. So they just got to the point of, this is just, it's too risky. Like we've seen this happen multiple times, that let's just, help set up one of the instructors and give it to them and just get out of it and focus on the next thing. So, yeah.
Are they in a new business venture now, or are they part of yours potentially?
No, I actually talked to them like, hey, you can start a cleaning business. And they're so burnt by the martial arts business. My parents are like, no, I don't want to do it. Cause like, what if a cleaner leaves? I'm like, then you find another one. Like, we've had cleaners leave, you got to find the right people, and they'll stick with you for a long time. Even if they do leave, you fill them. But no, too worried about how reliant it is on the cleaners, just from their perspective of the past business. And so I think mom's getting into like real estate, trying to do that, kind of like wholesaling, money lending, those kind of things for fix and flips. And then they're hoping that will eventually take over the 9 to 5 income. So,
okay. You mentioned a little bit of your background with school. How far into college did you get before you decided to drop out?
Didn't even get into college, man. Dropped out. About sophomore year, I did homeschool, but homeschool was just to get me out of the school and let me just do other things. So
we're talking high school.
High school, yeah. And so sophomore year of high school, I'm trying different things. I'm basically not doing classes online. I know I'm going to get in trouble, whatever, and just trying things out. So like jumped in with a group of guys, like literally a Snapchat group of guys that were making a bunch of money through drop shipping, and just would ask questions and how do you guys do this and what do you do with this? And then just YouTube University, just watching a bunch of YouTube videos, trying it out. And 3 months in, like I think the first one I did was trying to sell like the pop sockets on the back of the phone, and then try to sell phone cases and then jewelry. And then I started like so those were all the different ones, like lost maybe $200 each. And then the fourth one I started was like a clothing store that was specifically like cartoon. So like Rick and Morty, like Naruto, like just these different hoodies you can get from Alibaba. Threw them up on a website. Like looking back, it was absolutely horrible. I think my color scheme was like purple and green. Like it was just horrid to look at. But it worked. You know, I'd run an ad. Like startup cost is almost nothing. Run an ad, and you spend. You know, I'm marketing. You spend $50. If you don't make more than $50 back, then cut it. And try something else. I eventually got an ad that I'd spend $50 and I'd make $200. So then I'm gonna spend $500 and make $2,000. And through that was like in a week. So I started the store, got it up and going within 48 hours, and then in a week had $3,000 come in. And then headwinds, dude. PayPal was like, "Hey, you're 17 years old, so we ran your social security number, and you're not old enough to have a PayPal account. You can't receive this money." I'm like, "All right, screw you, PayPal. I'm gonna go to Stripe." So I do Stripe payments, and like they're the same thing. Like they're like, "You can't have this money. You're too young." And so I was like, "Wow, okay. Well, this worked. No, the good news is this worked. So what do I need school for? I didn't learn any of this from school. There's no e-com course. There's no dropshipping course. And I want to be a business owner and learn, like, this is just a way for me to learn these skills, marketing, basic marketing, copywriting, make a website, design a logo. And I can take these into whatever business I go into the future." So, yeah. And then COVID happened something like 6 months after that. Yeah. So it just, you know, then getting a job to be able to fund doing a new drop shipping thing once I turned 18 was a nightmare, you know, because everything shut down. I like got a bartending job, was like ready to go, and then COVID happens the next month. So that got me to look into different businesses and ended up doing a marketing agency. That did well. Ended up consulting. Like the whole time I'm just consuming. Like I just need to learn. I need to learn marketing. I need to learn sales. And just apply it in the way that I can. Like, let me help out my friends. Let me help out, at the time, my parents. Like, hey, if you do this with your Google LSA ads, if you do this with your Instagram, if you make your website look better, if you make the copy look better. So just learning as I go, man, instead of sitting in a lecture, you know, this is the best way to do it. I realize that for myself. I'd rather one day when I'm hiring, that I'd rather hire someone that has a track record of doing it for themselves, has experience, and has the pain of it not working, than have someone who just has a piece of paper that they probably, you know, cheated their way through class and they're partying at the same time. Like they're just having fun in college and getting through their classes so they get a job one day.
Or paying somebody for their stuff.
Yeah. And nowadays, ChatGPT, right? Like they're not even doing the work.
Right.
So yeah, when I look for people in different businesses, it's always been, do you have experience? Have you actually tried this? Are you hungry? Not, do you have a piece of paper? You know? So yeah, very different path for me as far as, yeah, like I just literally dropping out of school and not doing college, but just like grinding, really just hustling.
So 16, your first business?
Yeah. I mean, I had little things here and there. I had like, I'd buy a bunch of like knives from Alibaba and sell it to my friends, buy a bunch of jewelry, and then realize that the e-commerce is a thing, dropshipping is a thing. And when I was 17, did that 3 months in, then had the issues with PayPal. And then I was like, okay, I need to go get a job so I have more money. Like this works, but I got to turn 18 first. So let me stack up a bunch of money, then I'll do it when I'm 18. So that was my path. It was my first business, like first website basically was when I was 17. Yeah.
17. And I mean, inspiration was your parents growing up, seeing what they've gone through, and just wanting to break that freedom. You said you invested what, $100 in that first website when you started?
Yeah, dude, like Shopify and like trying to run ads. So then my ads were the only cost, so always look for things that were low risk, and that were just high reward, because you go and open like my parents took them thousands and thousands of dollars to be able to have an office space, to be able to then get inventory, then to be able to actually get things up and running. And I'm seeing these kids that are 18, 19, 20 years old, making 7 figures a year from a clothing brand, from selling a specific product for drop shipping. I'm like, man, how did you start? And I just kind of tried it and failed a couple times. And then eventually one of them worked. And I was like, okay, I'll fail, falling forward and just try it.
So drop shipping, consulting, e-com, just basic e-com stuff. You've pretty much done it all that I don't want to say the transition to now a service-based business, but that from the numerous interviews I've done, I've had several people go through the same, footstep path. Robinhood, when the whole market crash happened, people jumped on Robinhood because it was shiny and a great way to do the stock market geared towards younger people. Everyone kind of followed in that same path. Why here? Why are you here now with the service business? You've had success with drop shipping and other stuff. What made you leave that to come to here? And how did you get here? How did you figure out, service business, cleaning business is what I want to do?
Yeah. So, long story short, I took like a year off to specifically made a bunch of money, consulting and helping. At one point I was helping a 9-figure oil and gas business with their sales process, hiring a cold calling team, marketing, internal just process efficiency, outbound emails. And so, minimum investment at that company was $200,000. And so, made a bunch of money. I was like, I'm going to take off and I went to ministry school. So I just wanted to spend time, Christian. So spend time with God and kind of get that as, the foundation for my life going forward. I know when I'm 30 years old and I've got a kid, 2 kids, I'm not going to be able to just take a year off and just be at church basically 5 days a week. And so I had a bunch of money saved up, and took a year off to be in ministry school, and then went to a men's business conference, like retreat sort of thing. And when I was there, I met this kid there that was 20 years old and grew a cleaning business. Just grew a cleaning business, and was like, when I looked at that, I was like, wow, like, how does it work? Well, you're going to set up, your website, you're going to run ads, and then you're going to connect cleaners to people that need cleaning. It's really simple. And everything I've done in business has been somewhat complicated and a lot of testing, a lot of trial and error. And so I looked at that and I was like, is it really as simple as it sounds? Is it really that simple? And he's like, yeah, and I can show you. And so he helped me out getting started. And that was just like I wanted something easy and simple to get back into it, honestly, and just get back into business. And so, I started February, and it's been amazing. It's really like I know a lot of people say it's simple but not easy. And from my perspective, I'm like, no, there's a lot more difficult business models. I'd say this is simple and easy. But if you haven't been in business before, I can see, you're doing things for the first time.
Right.
But yeah.
Anything for the first time is nerve-wracking.
Exactly. Yeah. And you don't have the confidence. And that's why a lot of the courses and training, why I love the Booking Koala Facebook group specifically. I have a mentor, I've actually say he's more of a mentor, Jacob Elijah in the group, and he's just known for helping everyone out. There's tons of people in that are great people, but I posted something in the Facebook group, and he reached out and he's like, hey dude, I kind of spied on you and you live like 45 minutes away from me. Like, let's just talk. And so I built a friendship with him, and man, any questions I have, before I go to the Facebook group for Booking Koala, because almost everyone there has a cleaning business. And I still use that. But now I get to be more the person of hey, here's what we did and here's how we grew. And here's what I would do in this situation, or when people have questions. Actually, right before this, I was on a call with a lady from Booking Koala, just helping her out, man. she's new and starting, and that's kind of the environment in the Book and Koala group. So having other people to help walk you through, whether it's a course or whether it's a one-on-one coach, or it's just the Book and Koala group, like there's so much value in the people there and the knowledge and information there. So that's been key. It's been key for us. I think what I tell people, like, how did you get here? Were making money when you were younger? And it's not like I figured it out. It's not like from scratch, like my brain just put this all together. It's, I think the quote is, it's easier to see when you stand on the shoulders of giants. And so getting to stand on the shoulders of someone like Jacob and like, hey, how did you get here? What did you do? And reading books, and instead of trying to figure out, sales, like, why don't I just read a book on sales from someone who spent 40 years in this and is a killer, instead of trying to figure it out myself, So yeah, that's kind of the path I've taken, is just smart enough to say, I don't know it all, dumb enough to try it, to just do it,
Right. So Faithful Cleaners, when did you start that? How long have you been in business? Let's jump into that.
Yeah. So I'd say we officially started in February. We were kind
of this year, 2025.
Yes. This year. Back in November of last year, I had a partner in Elijah, a friend that wanted to get into business and was like, I want to do this one day. Like, I just want to own a business. It sounds nice, and the freedom. And he had a 9-to-5, and I was like, okay, I'll take care of this stuff. You take care of like finding cleaners, interviewing cleaners, and getting cleaners to the house, scheduling. And he just got too busy, man, where he couldn't. I'd do my part of like sales and ads and making sure that we get people booked, and he couldn't get the cleaners there. And I love him to death. He's a great guy, but he was just too busy. And so at that point, I was like, okay, like, we need to stop, because I'm booking people and we're not getting cleaners there, and then people aren't happy. So if we're going to do this, like, we got to go like all in, like it's not that he didn't have the time with his 9-to-5. It's that like after his 9-to-5, he didn't see the future of like, I could get out of my 9-to-5. He's just like, now I have another thing to do in the afternoon. And so, then we stopped. And in February, tapped Elijah on the shoulder, my best friend, and said, hey, do you want to do this? And he's like, let's go, let's do it. And the friend in the beginning that it didn't work out with, we were like, hey, we're going to get this up and going. It's going to be successful. And then whenever you're ready to like go like, oh, this works. Oh my gosh, I really could get out of my job. Like, it's like he didn't believe in it, like that believe it can work. And like, that's a common thing with people first getting into business. Is this really going to work for me? Like, can I do this? And the answer is yeah, if you follow the steps and you stick to it. So we basically like started from scratch again in the February of this year. And me and my best friend Elijah going, all right, like, we're in this thing. And we're at where we are now from that. So what is it, 6 months? Yeah, 6 months now. So I'm really excited for where it goes from here, whether or not we end up selling it or keep it as a cash flow business to fund other things. Don't know. But yeah, February of this year is when we like really, we're going to do this, not just like halfway,
So the big question, what did you guys put in to get it off the ground? Like how much money? Yeah.
Yeah. I knew you were going to ask this question. So I actually looked yesterday at finances. The first month, long story short, less than $1,000. You've got LLC, like the first, you get kind of like the one-time things of like your LLC and those kind of things, less than $400. And then you got your overhead, which in the beginning is like less than $300. I mean, you've got booking Koala, you've got $50 insurance, website hosting, background check, like running a background checker. I mean, and like Go High Level for CRM is what we use. So, it's like less than $300 overhead. So the exact number for the first month, it's like around 600 or something. And then the next month, less than $300 for overhead. So that's where your expenses are. Of course, like to some people starting business, man, I don't know, that kind of sounds like a lot. Well, if it sounds like a lot, go make more money so that you have money to be able to spend, because it's not a lot. Yeah. It's going to change your life in the future. So treat it that way. And, expense in business is going to be your marketing. But with marketing, if you're successful in marketing, you spend $1, you make more than $1. So
Right.
spend 50, make more than 50, spend 1,000, make more than 1,000. So, that's your biggest expense, but it's your biggest money maker. It's how you make the money. So yeah, getting this business started, like I said, was so simple and way less difficult than so many other businesses that I've been in. There's a business I spent 4 months. I want to do a social media marketing agency. Spent 4 months like creating all the systems. How would I advertise for a doctor? How would I advertise for a restaurant? Like, what are the exact things I do for their website, for their social media, for their ads, for when people walk in the door? 4 months of just figuring out systems before I ever launched. And this is me just trying to come up with it, trying to figure it out, full inspiration. Well, in booking Koala, like this business specifically, the cleaning business, I mean, from the jump, I knew exactly what I was going to do. Like set up a website, make things look good, put my profile on Thumbtack and Google, and then turn on ads. And people are going to call. We're going to book people, and we're going to make money, and especially make money from people that do recurring business. So just the lifetime value of a cleaning client is very high. So really, really easy, man.
And 6 months in, what did you do last month in total revenue?
Yeah, last month I think we did 11. July would have been 11,000, with majority of that being recurring. The biggest change for us, like this is honestly the thing that has started to explode our business, was we'd spend money on Thumbtack, we'd spend money on Facebook, and cost per acquisition was like the cost to be able to get a booking, get a client, whether or not they were one time or recurring, was around $90 to $100. In my area, Google, LSA, and those are very expensive, and there's a lot of price shopping just from the demographic here. So we focus on Facebook and Thumbtack, like I said, around $90 cost per acquisition. And I really looked into SEO because I asked, in booking Koala, Jacob, hey, like how many leads did you get today? What's your marketing look like and all that? And he goes, well, I had 15 leads come in today, and he's doing like upwards of 70K a month. And I think it's 2.5 years in business, but he only really started growing it like this past year. But anyways, 15 leads came in today. 5 of them were like scam calls from Google, someone trying to sell you something. And then 5 of them were Facebook leads, and 5 of them were organic SEO leads. Okay, organic SEO, like this is a service business. I'm not familiar too much with organic SEO. All the things I did were solely based on outbound marketing. So I'm like, okay, how did you get that? What did you do? Oh, I paid an SEO company, and I got like a website that was SEO optimized, and those leads are free. Wow. So 5 of your leads that came in today were free today. I said, yeah, and they're actually way better than Facebook leads. The conversion rate's much higher, and people are looking for us. They're finding us. They pick us. So conversion rate's higher, and those people end up staying longer and paying more. I was like, dude, how did you do it? Well, we paid like I said, SEO company website, but it's going to be, like $300 a month for this optimized website. It's going to be like $1,000 to $1,500 for an SEO company a month. I'm like, we can't do that because we don't have that money right now at this moment. Like soon we will. So I called another friend that has a cleaning business in Florida. I was like, hey, dude, who'd you use for SEO? Like, I'm hearing it's like just amazing. It's the thing to do because, the cost per acquisition is so cheap. And he said, I looked at many companies I actually paid to, and I didn't see results because they say it takes 9 to 12 months to see results.
Right.
So, $1,500 a month, and you're waiting for 12 months, dude. What, $18,000 before you see results. And you talk to any SEO company, they'll tell you that. And I don't have that right now. And I want to see results quick. And he said, I looked around, and there's another way to do SEO. And that's optimizing your Google business profile. So like when someone looks up in Google Maps, what pops up there and those 3 businesses and the maps, that's a completely different game. It's still SEO, but it's a different SEO game than traditional SEO, which is PPC, like showing up in the results below. And he said, I figured that out. And literally within me turning it on and doing it, we got immediate results. And he showed me like his profile and everything. I was like, bro, how did you do this? And he sent me like this YouTube guy, and I just watched from this YouTube guy. So I went and set up my Google business profile differently, put a business address, um, did different things to optimize. And literally from the moment we got verified on Google, I wish I could screen share. I can't, but I mean, literally from the moment we had like no one finding our business on Google to the minute I turned it on, it went from like 0 views or 1 view a day to 6 views, 12 views the next day, then 5 views the next day. And we're getting calls like immediately. And we're getting people that find us on the maps and go to our website, and like leads come in, and I'm not paying anything. Like I just did it myself. And so that was what really changed our business. It took me like a month and a half to like really feel like I really learned it. I'm a learner. You know, I don't want to just copy paste. Like I want to understand how does Google rank you and all that. But we got verified about 3 weeks ago. And from that, we've gotten a booking a day. And then of course the recurring bookings. I think I looked at it as like the first 12 days from the moment it turned on and was verified, we got 12 bookings within those first 12 days. And then 20 bookings for August this month, and another 10 bookings for September. So a lot of recurring people, a lot of success from doing that. When someone's searching house cleaning service in your city, them you popping up at the top, it's free, you know, if you set things up right. And yeah, it's been incredible, man. So that's actually what's going to explode us. We literally can't. We had to turn off Facebook ads, turn off Thumbtack and those because we can't handle it. I'm having to hire cleaners right now. Literally constantly looking. Indeed posts are back on. I'm looking at housekeeper.com. Like I need cleaners because we're getting a booking a day, and I wish I could get on Facebook and Thumbtack and spend money to get more leads, but we're hardly being able to handle the leads that come in right now. So building systems and things to handle that has completely changed our business. I mean, our trajectory went from we're hoping to get to 20K by the end of the year to we should be above 30K. Like if we're not above 30K, like then we did something wrong. Like we're
Monthly revenue.
MRR. Yep.
Okay. Isn't that beautiful that you can have a lead come in for free? And with this business model, it's not one time like drop shipping. Like when you were selling shirts or hoodies, phone cases, it's like, all right, you sold one and now you got to wait 6 months before that potentially breaks, rips, dirty, whatever, or a new phone style comes out, then you can sell them again. This could be weekly.
Yes.
You know, and that's the beauty of it, where you get leads, even if you're paying, like you said, a little bit more expensive, $90, $100 for that lead, that first booking, as long as they become recurring, that first booking is potentially your break-even point, depending on your area and what your, average booking cost is. Everything after that, it's free, right? And you just got to keep that customer happy, keep the providers happy, and it's printing money, and it's just rinse and repeat, keep going until you grow and potentially max out your one location. And now it's okay. Think about what you want to do next. You want to start a different service? Do you want to add new services to that location? Do you want to just duplicate and go into another location in a city 100 miles away? It's simple. Like you said in the beginning, it's simple. And it could be easy if you know what you're doing. If you're not, first time in business, it's scary, but it gets better. There's so many people that started this as their first business and they were scared, but now they're doing 50, 60, 70K months in revenue, and they have, virtual assistants or office staff helping, and they're only putting in a couple hours a week.
Yeah, it's a beautiful model, because even if it is one time, like you said, it's break even. You should be making money on first clean, but yeah, it's recurring. Like that's where the money really is doing the recurring cleans. We've had people with us since February basically that are like weekly, and so yeah, it's so worth it. It's so worth it. And like I said, it's keeping people happy. There's no reason someone changes over from a cleaning service other than they move or they're unhappy in some way. Well, if the heart of what you're doing is to serve people well and to treat them, how you want to be treated. Like our goal this week is how can we improve the client experience to where like we are the best in the area when it comes to like someone choosing us. Like they feel taken care of, they have all the information they need, going above and beyond to just create a beautiful experience. And everyone will do that differently. The way I would make an amazing experience is different than how you would. But putting the customers first, and of course providers as well, taking care of your providers, that's what's going to keep people with you.
So you're in that dreaded loop, that constant loop right now of marketing and hiring, finding the sweet spot between the two. You've unfortunately had to put pause on your marketing so you could hire up. How have you learned now to continuously hire after pausing, or have you been hiring the whole time since February?
No, we doing Thumbtack and Facebook and those, we were we'd have a cleaner, then we want to fill out their schedule, and then okay, now we're getting close to filling out their schedule. Let's hire another cleaner, just because spending 100 a day, 150 a day, we'd get like one booking. So now where we're at is we already have a booking a day coming in. We need to be able to handle that and get more cleaners. So now the process is, we need to continue hiring. Like we need to constantly be looking, because the minute we turn on Facebook ads and Thumbtack and everything back on, that we're going to have much more leads coming in and much more bookings, and we need the cleaners to be able to handle it. And something too about hiring is that not everyone you hire is going to work out. And so you may have gone like, I hired someone new this week, and you think you're set up for the next month, but it turns out, this cleaner just isn't. She walks into a home and she just seems like she hates life. And the client's like, she doesn't seem like she really wants to be here. And to some people, it's fine, whatever. It's not a big deal. For us, like I want a smiley cleaner in the home. I want them, talking to the client, building a relationship. And so finding those kind of people, so that way our clients stay with us longer, is something that, I think in total, we've had maybe 20 interviews. In February, we've had 10 cleaners that we've tried out, and only right now we have 4 that are like been with us, and like they're good, like they're strong. And so, you just got to be constantly interviewing, constantly trying to find those people. And even when you think they're right, we had 10 and only 4 of them have been like, this is the right person for us, that we want to keep for recurring. We might keep someone as a backup or pocket cleaner, but that's just like a one-off until we find like another right person. So constantly looking, constantly hiring is definitely key, to be able to make sure that you're not building for right now, you're building for the future, right? So
you learning that in the first 6 months is the biggest thing, that it takes people a couple years to sometimes fully understand. That always keep the hiring going, so your marketing can keep going. And it's a long-term game. It's not, okay, I'll hire this cleaner and they'll work out for 2 months. No, I don't want a 2-month cleaner. I want a 2-year plus cleaner. I want somebody to be here to grow with the company, be close. You potentially, get to know them a lot better, and they're not just somebody who works for you, but it's somebody that works with you to help grow your business.
Yeah. And building that relationship with the cleaners is what's key, because how you treat them is how they're going to treat you. And I've, like, from interviewing, I've heard horror stories of the way that cleaners were treated by other owners and other companies. And then, you talk to clients and that they've been treated bad by cleaning companies as well. Like someone came in, they didn't speak English, they didn't even do what we asked them to do. And when they tried to charge us more after the clean because it took longer. Like so many issues are solved by putting your cleaner first and putting your customer first, and dealing, like, just putting them first and serving. Like I'll take, not making as much money on a client that's not as happy, to be able to make sure that they become happy, that they're satisfied. We don't say like that we're 100% guarantee of your home being perfect from the cleaning, but we are 100% guarantee that you're going to be satisfied, because you run into things, man. You run into a client that's just like, they want a cleaner to get on a freaking 20-foot ladder and hit the top of a fan, even though on the first call, we're not going to do that. We can't do that. Yet the cleaner gets there and the cleaner says, oh, I can't do that. And the person tries to, well, he said he couldn't do it. And he talks to my partner instead of me and says, I thought you guys were going to do this. And all these situations, well, we just make sure that the customer is satisfied, even though we just take responsibility for it. Like, maybe we didn't communicate that correctly. That's on us. We're going to implement that into our processes in the future. What can we do in this situation? It looks like we have two options here, and just handling them and taking care of them, because people want to be taken care of. They want to feel heard. They want to feel seen and loved, So we love people through the business. And that, we had a disgruntled customer 2 days ago. And it was like literally, it made no sense. Like, we talked to him after and he's like, what happened? Like, what went wrong? And he's like, well, I had to ask them to go back and clean these spots. Like, it's the first time in your home. It's kind of normal. That's why we do a final walkthrough. Don't you think it's kind of normal first time in your home that it's a unique home? It's your home. You like the way you do things, that we go back and do something. Yeah, but I still had to talk to them. Okay. Like, is there any pictures, anything you can send? Do they leave something behind? No. Okay. So like, what are we upset about?
Right.
But still, he's still unhappy. So whatever we can do to have him be satisfied. And me and Elijah were going, dude, like, this guy's pissed, whatever. We're doing the best we can. Like, we didn't do anything wrong, but the guy's just asking for way too much and knowing how to make him happy. To, at the end of a phone call, Elijah calling him and saying, hey, we want you to be satisfied. That's my first and foremost thing. It's not about profit for us. It's not about the business. It's about you. What can we do in this situation that would be like the perfect scenario for you? And walking through that to the point where he booked us out for a month later, even though he was pissed, on first call. And so putting the people first is going to be, both cleaners and customers are going to be, that's how you're going to scale the business. So yeah, treating people right.
Absolutely. Do you run the contractor or employee model?
Contractor.
And total contractors, how many you have? You said 4?
4 right now. We have 2 more that are getting onboarded next week, and still looking constantly now.
Where do you think your sweet spot would be for the amount of bookings that or leads you're getting per day will be? Do you think it'll be after these next 2 or a few more after that?
Honestly, I don't know. The ideal situation is we have systems that are able to handle, 5-10 new bookings a day. And both the systems and the cleaners that are able to handle that. And pretty soon just office, management, us being able to take the calls and deal with scheduling and those kind of things. So I don't have an answer for that, but in the beginning, our goal was to grow as fast as we can. And we learned pretty quick that was not what you want to do in the beginning of a business, for this business specifically. Client would call and say, hey, this wasn't done. This wasn't done. And I've never been in a home. I've never cleaned a home before. I don't know if we should have done that. I don't know if he's asking too much. I don't have a picture. I don't know. Like, I talked to the cleaner and she's like, yeah, this, that. And so in the beginning it was, all right, let's slow down. Let me go clean some homes. Like, people don't like to do this. They don't have to get on their hands and knees and figure out, like, clean a toilet and pee stains around the bottom of the toilet. But that's what you kind of have to go and do. I mean, in my opinion, you don't have to, but in my opinion, it's the best way to do it.
Absolutely.
Figure that out. Even if you run a remote cleaning business and it's not in your city, then cleaning your own house, cleaning a friend's house, 2 friends' houses, 3 friends' houses, and going over it. And what happens when I dust the blinds? Well, if it hasn't been cleaned in a while, then there's a little bit of dust on the back of the blind, and I can't, like, if we dust the blind, you might see that. So if a customer sees that, then we go, hey, that's something that in a deep cleaning, we would actually hand wipe, but this is a standard cleaning. I wouldn't have that knowledge or information unless I went and dusted blinds myself and figured that out. There's some things you only learn by running into the problems. So yeah. First we tried to grow super fast and realized, let's slow down and let's figure this business out, like inside and out, so we can speak with authority and subject matter expertise. And we're not asking the client, well, what should we do? We know exactly what we should do. We know our exact processes, our exact cleaning standards. And now that we've come to this place of, okay, we understand it. almost inside and out. I'm sure we'll run into things in the future we've never heard of. Once again, having people in the booking qual group, Jacob, Elijah, and just different people that you're able to ask them, like we just changed recently oven cleanings. We like almost never get oven cleanings. And before we were charging like $30 for it. And in my head, like oven, dude, takes like 20, 30 minutes. And then asking the group, like we had times where we couldn't do it in that time. And it was worse than we expected. So then I asked the booking call group, hey guys, oven cleans, what the heck are you doing? How are you doing it? What do you charge? What's the timing? And then people are going, it usually takes around an hour. Can sometimes take more. We charge $60 to $75 on average between different people. That totally changed our process. I didn't know that, so using the group to be able to learn the business inside and out. And then now we're at a point where it's like, I feel comfortable taking on, like knowing cleaning well enough that we could take on 5-10 bookings a day if we have the cleaners and our systems are in place. Like I feel like we've got a grip on it.
That group, we've had some ups and downs in it through the years. We've been trying to get it to exactly what you've been talking about now, where it's not stuffed with people trying to push, whether it's, their own Go High level that they've white labeled, or, people who sneak in from Fiverr who are Fiverr experts that help set up stores or do SEO or whatever. We tried to minimize that as much as possible so we can get business owners like you getting those meaningful conversations in and talking through it. A big hurdle for us was what happened in March and April with the attack and the downtime with all that. But going through that helped us be like, okay, we need to go back to our roots. Why did we start this community? Why is the software here? To help individual business owners so that they can get the information that they need. It's not to push everything down their throats. It's the meaningful conversations. And that oven cleaning post that you posted, I remember approving that in the group and being like, this is exactly what we need. This is the type of question, the type of, response from the group that we wanted to see. And it's great that you're utilizing it. I don't want to say daily, but multiple times a week. And I would say, a big help in getting the community back to where it should be and having those conversations and just helping each other out. It's not going and finding that cleaning business guru on YouTube. Sure, they're there. Sure, there's great information. But when was the last time that they actually ran their cleaning business? Do they still have that cleaning business? Right. You don't know. It's mainly pushing their coaching or their views for their YouTube channel, which is all fine. But when you're in part of a community like this, where it's all just business owners running the same thing in different cities and willing to just hop on a phone call, like you said with Jacob, 45 minutes, let's just have a conversation, let me help you out without asking for anything in return. That's huge. That's the biggest thing. And we hope more people utilize the group because the answers are there. You might not get the response immediately, but as long as you ask, you'll get something.
Yeah. Yeah, you hit the head of the nail. Like the coaches and gurus and stuff on YouTube, they're not as interested in helping you as they are about making money.
Yeah.
So, in the group, like I genuinely think, having looked at different courses and taken a peek inside, like there's more material and better material, I would say. Literally, if you were to scroll through the past 6 months of Booking Koala's group, everything you need is there. And if it's not there, then a free YouTube video on exactly how to set up your LLC is going to solve that problem. If you're a new business owner. But I mean, if this isn't your first business, literally everything you need, the specifics are in the Booking Koala group. And once again, you can ask questions. Someone's going to answer or jump on a call. So I think it's more valuable than honestly the courses that you got to spend thousands of dollars for. Because I mean, like you said, dude, people, how big did they grow their business before they sold it and became a guru, right? Before they started. And that's something that me and Jacob have talked about a lot, where he's, 70K a month. And in the first, couple months was getting on his hands and knees and figuring out the business. I mean, most of the people, at least that I've seen courses from, we got to 20K a month, we got to 30K a month, and we sold the business, and now we teach others. Well, you can only teach people to the point where you've been for the most part in this kind of a business. And so when you're someone at like Jacob's level, he just jumps on a call and just talks to you or posts in the group, and he's giving more information and help than someone that's selling their course for $6,000 and they got to 30K. And then you got to kind of ask, why did they sell? Why did they get out there? They saw more money in something else. And they also, they feel the pressure of what happens when you get to 20, 30K. I mean, there's different phases of running a service business, the way we were doing things was fine up until about like 7K MRR. We got to the point of like, I need systems in place. Like I really need automations. I need like a process for calling people in our pipeline from the past. Like this can't be willy-nilly. We need it all in one place. We need to see past notes. We need to see what we quoted them at before whenever they call back 3 months later and they want to do that recurring clean that we talked about, but I don't have a price because I don't remember because I didn't write it down. And then you get to the point of I literally am getting 15 leads a day in Jacob's point, and one person can't take 15 new leads a day, follow up with the leads from the past 2 weeks that were also 15 leads a day, deal with the cleaning schedule, deal with payroll, dealing with the customers that are new, the recurring customer. Like, you can't deal with all that. And you run into those kind of issues when you get to, 30K like plus. And that's why so many people sell. Like, it's why the story is often a little bit similar. There's the anomalies, but the story is often similar. 20K a month, 30K a month. And I got here within X amount of time. But then they don't tell you the margins. They don't tell you the fact it took so long to sell their business, and they didn't sell it for as much because they didn't have systems. Like they were an owner operator instead of being an owner with VAs in place. There's all these kind of things that they don't tell you when you're thinking about buying a course until you get into it. And there's people in the group that they're just like, I'm too busy running my business. I'm not about to go and sell a course on it.
Right.
They're way more knowledgeable and helpful than the people that are on YouTube. So, and another thing too is there's a difference between being a player and being a coach. Like I'm a great soccer player, for instance. I love playing soccer. Not a good coach, man. Not a good coach. I'd rather play too. Like I don't want to sit there and watch you play and coach you. I want to play. And so there's great players and coaches, that are in the Booking Qual group. And I feel like a lot of the YouTube gurus and stuff, they're players that they used to be players. Now they're coaches because they couldn't be that great of a player. And then they're kind of washed up. They're kind of out of touch. It's been a year since they played the game. They haven't actually been on phone calls. They haven't been dealing with the new Google updates, just stuff like that, man, where, like you said, people every day in and out running their business side by side with you in the Booking Qual group. It's gold. It's literally a gold mine. And it's freaking free, dude. Like the face, like you guys be charging, really. It's phenomenal.
We've been talking numbers again. What have you done so you're at 11K as of, because it's the first week of August right now. July you did 11. What did you do? What have you done in total from February till, I guess, today or yesterday?
Yeah, I think it was somewhere, I have to pull it up exactly. I want to say between 35 and 40.
Okay.
In those months. Yeah. So what happened was, like I said, we tried to grow too fast in the beginning. And so we'd have like turning ads on, going fast, like February, March, and going, we're going to spend a lot of money now, but we're going to get recurring clients from this. And so it'll make up for it. Like we'll take the first month at a loss and have those recurring customers. Well, the problem was that we were like, simple system. We get a cleaner there. They're going to like us. They're going to go in the future and work with us. The problem is that we didn't properly vet the cleaner. We didn't know what we were doing as far as the cleaning. And so we sent a cleaner there and we expected 4 hours and we got a cleaning after. Well, it took 7 hours. Now the cleaner after the clean after, isn't happy. And then the clean that we were doing, we didn't make money on it because I thought it was going to take 4. It took 7. So all the money went to the provider. And so we didn't have money from that, but we spent we spent the advertising dollar to get it there, and it ended up being a one-time clean because we took 7 hours. We should have sent 2 cleaners, so then that customer's not happy. And then we spent marketing for the next one. We never actually cleaned their house. And then the cleaner, it turns out, actually it wasn't as great as we thought. So now we need to find another cleaner. And so there's these kind of problems that we ran into because we tried to grow too fast. We were trying to grow too fast and not learning the business the way we needed to. So like the first 2 months, I think we did it was something around 15 in 15,000 in revenue, but a loss of 2,000 the first month because of those situations, and then the next month maybe break even, lost 1,000, and then we're all right, drop the marketing, let's figure out the business. And then the month after that, we had 5,000 and recurring plus a little bit of new, and let's treat these people well. Let's get this down at a small scale, then we can ramp up. And so then once we figured that out, it's a month in. All right, now let's put app marketing back on. Let's get more clients and let's take care of them well. And then, like I said, we're on track to hoping for about 20K by end of year. And now we should blow past 30K, specifically with the organic SEO things. So, the not just 30K revenue, but having good profit margins because we're not having to spend on marketing for the organic stuff that comes in. So,
And what are you expected to hit by the end of the year?
Yeah. We're running through ChatGPT, my lifeline. Worst case scenario, we should be looking at 25K. Best case scenario, we could be looking at 40K.
What about it in total? I know that's month, but total.
Yeah, I don't have that number for you. If I were to guesstimate, 40, around 40 to date, and then 6 more months, say, 15K this month, or 20K September 25. I don't know, man. I'd have to sit here and write the numbers down, but
safely over 100.
Yeah, safely over 100. Should be closer to 150. Yeah.
And that's under a year because you started in February, and with after a lot of hiccups, realizing that you needed to scale back. That's huge. That's big for your first year. Those are great numbers. And then with those hiccups that you learn, getting those processes down, year 2 is just going to take off for you, man. And it's going to be huge. You guys are going to do some killer numbers, and I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I might sell it and become a guru, man. It's a lot easier.
Don't say that. Don't say that. We need you. I can't say I dislike the gurus. I've never been a fan. I did fall into the trap early on, with, the Ty Lopez's, the Grant Cardones, buying their courses. Not a fan. I understand that there are people who are scared to take the jump and they go to a coach, which helps. That's totally fine, as long as the information given is reciprocal. Obviously, the coach needs to make their money, but as the business owner, as the student learning, you need to get something out of it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Alex Hormozi's give everything away for free, even the important, valuable things. And so I'm pretty close here to doing there's a guy I look up to. He's got a kind of Gary Vee style of building in public. He makes a 10 to 15 minute video a day. Not a cleaning guy, just another business of here's what I'm doing in my business. This guy does millions a year. And he just takes a quick second. Here's how I'm building. Here's what I do. Here's a quick tip. And so I'm very much a fan of the coaching model when there's so much free information that someone that doesn't have money. I mean, these coaching people, the gurus, you get on a call and it's okay, how much money do you have access to? Okay, well, our program is $10,000. I can walk you through how to get a credit card so you can put it on your credit card. You don't even have the money. They're putting you in debt.
Yeah.
But I'm very much a fan, like I said, of give everything away for free, very valuable, of documenting the process. Hey, I'm going to start a cleaning business from 0 to 10K. I'm going to show you every step of the way for free. YouTube, just watch it. Here's what I'm doing in my cleaning booth, 10, 15 minutes a day. Here's a lesson I learned. Oven cleanings. Hey, finding providers. We find it's better when in the beginning we realize these things in an interview. Those kind of things. And then once there's all that free information and someone can genuinely use that, kind of like booking call, there's a wealth of information there. Then if they have like hey, this is a group coaching setting. This is meant for if you're already at like 10K a month and you want to expand, you want to explode from that. This is a paid option, but this is not for everyone. And here's a wealth of information. Like I've proved my expertise and these things. Like a lot of people put things behind a paywall and you don't know how good it is until you pay and see behind the wall. Is this really good? Like you said, it's a trap oftentimes. So when things are up front and there's so much free, and then it's like, hey, if you want to spend time, like if you want an hour a week for us to talk or for me to go inside your business and look at exactly what's happening and talk about your situation, and booking Koala Facebook group isn't enough for you, even though it really is, then yeah, you can talk to someone one-on-one and pay for that. And I think that's well worth it, but not when you're just starting the business. You're being asked, $5,000, $10,000 for a program that really you can find all the information and better information on YouTube for free, or booking Koala Facebook group, those kind of things. So
this is why I wanted to start this podcast, interviewing our business owners using the software, so that this essentially can be that free information on our channel for people to be like, okay, these are legit everyday business owners who are doing it. This is the information and they're telling you it's legit. Go into the group, just figuring it out that it is possible to do it without spending tens of thousands of dollars on courses that you don't know if it's going to work.
Yeah.
Going into tech now and the software, how big a role does tech play in your business? I laugh because it's a loaded question, right? It's everything.
Yeah, it is everything. You don't need to use anything if you use the right things. And so for us, it's super simple. Like booking Koala handles all of our schedule needs, all of our quoting needs, payment, being able to collect payment, seeing who we collected payment from, taking care of the providers, sending a text to clients like, hey, so-and-so's on the way, sending a message to the providers. Like I had like 7 cleanings Friday of last week, and I can't imagine having to message every single client, hey, we're on the way, and texting the provider, hey, remember there's your cleaning today, or like the day before. And there's just so much going on. And so booking Koala, super key. We like Go High Level for CRM, and then Zapier as just a handshake. Like Go High Level would not be valuable without having booking Koala information put into there by
Zaps.
Be valuable without booking Koala being able to put information into there. So, yeah. And for those of you that don't know, it's like you got Zapier is like the handshake. So you've got like booking Koala here, which is his own software, and you've got Go High Level here, or CRM or whatever, Slack, your information systems, and then Zapier is just what lets them be able to communicate. So I get a quote in here and booking Koala, and the minute I press new quote or save quote, Zapier connects both and goes, this quote came from booking Koala, and we're going to put it into Go High Level, and now it's in my Go High Level CRM, and I can see all those things, like they're all integrated. So very simple system, man. Stripe connects with booking Koala to collect payments. Booking Koala does so many things that we need. Zapier connects booking Koala to Go High Level, which also has automations and things there. It's more back-end stuff though. So yeah, it's been super key. Like you can go and use 5-6 different systems. Talk to a guy that has freaking BK, Jobber, Go High Level, Zapier, email system, like a texting thing, and it's like, holy smokes, man! It's just there's too much going on. You need like one platform that can handle all your scheduling and provider stuff. You need one platform, for payment, so Stripe, and then CRM, which I think Booking Koala CRM capabilities. I haven't tested it out, I haven't tried it yet. We actually just upgraded to the the best plan on BK because we're at the point where we need it. That's what makes sense for us right now. So BK was great though, especially in the beginning, because you guys have like the basic plan and everything we needed was right there in the basic plan. And so, when you guys understand when you're a starting business owner, you don't want to be spending $1,000, $2,000 a month on softwares and overhead right from the get go.
Right.
BK can scale with you as you grow. We didn't need the capabilities of the highest tier until now. And now we're freaking happy to pay it because it makes sense to. I don't have to go get another software. BK does it. Great. Let's go with that.
So now that you're on that plan, I'm excited to, talk to you in the next coming months after you test out all the extra features and see what Go High Level has that, we're still missing and, leads and stuff like that. Cause I'm curious. We want to keep adding and we want to keep building in the software so that you can eliminate having to pay for another, CRM software for lead stuff and stuff like that. You've been using us since February, since the beginning. Have you used anybody else?
No, we looked at other options like House Call Pro, Jobber, and those. And I'm just like, there's no reason. Like, there's just nothing that we need outside of what BK has that we use. And honestly, using Go High Level I'm familiar with the system. Like, just from the jump, I'm familiar with it, but it doesn't have a quoting and scheduling and dealing with providers. So we use BK for that. And now that we upgraded, it's like, okay, we haven't even taken a look, honestly, at like, what could this replace Go High Level? And then, we'd love to get feedback on like everything. Booking Qual can do everything but this, but I don't even know what that but this is, or even if there is a but this until we're able to deep dive into it, into the highest tier on Booking Qual. And honestly, that would be the best option. Like, that would be so much easier if we didn't have to use Zapier, because that's its own cost and you got to build your own systems and things in there. Spend a lot of time with ChatGPT, like having it code the zaps and stuff for me to go into Go High Level when ideally everything's in Booking Qual. So I don't know. I'm excited to look at it,
Awesome. Last couple questions here. Maybe you can answer it. You kind of just said it's feature based. So what's one feature that we have that you couldn't live without?
I think just the quoting and the scheduling. Like, there's just, I looked at Go High Level because I was more familiar with that in the beginning. Like, can we build quoting in here? Can we build scheduling? Can we build the provider stuff? And maybe if I was like a senior code, developer and was able to figure everything out inside Go High Level. But even then, it's just, you're making it work rather than it's native inside of Booking Qual. So the scheduling, the quoting, and the way you're able to handle providers, it's really simple. I'm able to open up BK. I see what's coming up. I see who we've collected payment from. I see who we haven't. Literally, I jump on a sales call. Like, I get a message the minute a lead comes in, and I get an automatic call and talk to them. And then I open up Booking Qual and I have like the add booking, and I'm like, okay, so how many bedrooms do you have? How many bathrooms? What's your square footage? Do you have pets? And be able to walk through that and Booking Qual, and then I'm done. Like, I hit save booking, and like I'm off the phone with them, and like I'm good. Like Go High Level it's really secondary to like Booking Qual. We can run the business without Go High Level, but we can't run the business without Booking Qual. Like, it's just, I've heard stories of people like, yeah, I'm using Google Calendar, I'm using Google Sheets, and then I'm using this and a lot. And I'm like, dude, I know a guy in my area, actually met him at pickleball and happened to run into him like near a house that he was cleaning. And I was like, just caught up with him. I was like, how much, like, what are you doing? And he's like, I started it. Like, in the past year, we've gotten to 30K a month. And I'm like, what are you using? Like, how'd you get here? He's like, I'm using not even Google Sheets. I'm using Microsoft Excel for everything. And I said, bro, what? He's like, I'm just, in my past jobs, I use Excel. I can click around Excel. I can use it, but I know I need to, like, for scalability, and my wife is about to take over. She's not good at Excel. So she needs to be able to have something. So I'm like, bro, like, you need Booking Qual. Like, that's what you need. So Yeah, there's ways to do anything. Like you could build a house with a toothbrush, maybe, but it would probably take a million years, you know? So like just use the right tools and use the right things, and you're gonna get things done faster, quicker, and you're gonna hate your life less too.
I couldn't even begin to imagine using Excel to run a business
No,
and
no.
and to do 30K a month doing that. I think if he hasn't already, once he takes a look and sees how much easier life is going to get, he's going to be like, what the hell? Why didn't I do this sooner?
Yeah, he's just tunnel vision, man. It's like, and that can happen, man. You get
Yeah.
to working on something and you don't. I feel like as kids, you know, we're so open and so like we're not sure of ourselves and what works and what doesn't work. So we're open. We're like, what about this? What about this? You're grabbing everything, like you're just trying everything. But then as an adult, you get comfortable and you kind of just zone in. And so you would think that this guy running his business off Excel at some point, maybe 5K, maybe 10K, like maybe I should look for a dedicated scheduling platform, but he's so tunnel vision in, you know?
Yeah.
So this is what I'm comfortable with. This is what works for me, I guess, kind of, and it's fine. Not seeing that, let me just look and let me see what other options there are. He's just so entrenched like in the thing. So yeah. So I absolutely think, I genuinely, I have done the comparisons of like, okay, jobber, booking call, house call, like what about all these? And looked at what is going to be best and just went with booking call as like, this is what makes the most sense for us. So, yeah.
What about the flip side to that? What's one thing? I know you haven't gotten into all the features on the premium plan, so it potentially might be there. But what's something that you wish we had that you haven't seen or that we don't have?
Something you guys don't have that I wish. I don't. I think it's kind of an impossible ask, really, because I can't ask you guys to create Zapier and be Zapier. I can't ask you guys to be like have Facebook ad running capabilities within Booking Qual. Like those are all things that take months to be able to create that capability inside of, and that's just to make it workable. Whereas to make it like the superior option for that specifically. So I don't know, man. I think like I think what you guys do is exactly what it should do, you know? And I wouldn't ask like I don't know, like to paint a picture, it takes, I'm just looking at this picture on my wall I really love. To paint a picture, it takes paint and it takes the brush as well. And I'm not mad at the paint for not being a brush. I'm not mad at the brush for not being paint. And so what I think that you guys do well, you guys do well. And I'm not asking for you guys to be anything different or more than you are, which is this for us, the scheduling and the booking and those things. Though you guys have like the lead system and those, I just haven't checked it out yet. I haven't looked at it. We've just been so, you know, tunnel vision really, to have the time to be able to do it. So it's very possible that you guys can be both the paint and the brush, but you guys do a darn freaking good job of what you already do. So we're going to look into, you know, can we use this as our CRM? Can we use this for the lead intake and those things? So the follow up and such.
Amazing. I love that analogy. The paint and the brush. It's refreshing to hear somebody say that. I don't fault others for being like, well, I wish you had this. I wish this could be better or that. But it's super refreshing to hear like, this is what you guys are. You guys are great at it. And I'm not trying to ask you to change. And it would not be fair to me to ask you to change.
Yeah.
And we hope at the price point that we're at, we're the least expensive option in the space. And we try to give the most in each tier for that price. I mean, the entry level, the starter plan is less than $1 a day. You can't really run a business anywhere else on another platform for $27 a month. And then the middle plan, which is mostly everybody in the beginning first year stages, that's less than $2 a day. It's $57 a month. I mean, the competitors are several $100s a month for those same tiers, and they're toting that they could do much more. That's fantastic. As long as the value is there and the customer's happy, great. And we appreciate you and everybody who uses us that see that.
Yeah, the problem with many of those platforms is that they will tell you, hey, you can get rid of Kyle, we can get rid of this, you can get rid of this, you can get rid of this. But kind of like explained, like if you were to add Facebook, like being able to run Facebook ads from within Booking Qual, it takes you months to do it, one. And the MVP is like, just to get an MVP, it takes months. And then it's not as good as someone else does. That's a dedicated Facebook ad manager running system. So you end up with your competitors, which charge hundreds of dollars a month. And they say, hey, you can run Facebook ads. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this. But they all are mediocre. If that, like many of them are less than average because they tried to do so many things that they spread themselves so thin that they aren't able to provide adequate support for each of those modules or capabilities. And they just aren't the best at that thing. Whereas for you guys, we're going to be this and we're going to be freaking killer at it. And then looking into like leads, CRM and those kind of things, like, all right, like you guys knocked out of the park with this. Now, all right, now let's move on to, can we add this and can we knock this out of the park instead of trying to do a million different things and sucking at all of them instead of being just really good at being the brush in this one area, now, okay, we're doing great. Now, what if we add, one more thing and we make that really good? So, like I wouldn't take an all-in-one software. Like even Go High Level tries to be an all-in-one software and it can't do websites well. It can't do the running ads well. It can't do the scheduling and booking those. Like it just doesn't do, like they make it work if you have the knowledge and expertise, but even then it's like it's subpar because they're trying to put it all into one. And so that's why we go to different platforms for different things, So, and with the cleaning business, like I said, you don't need much, BK, CRM, which you can very well do inside of BK. I haven't looked at it, and Zapier to connect different systems, like, Slack, or Discord or automatic messages through Twilio, like whatever specific reports you want, you're able to use those. So, but I don't see that as something as you guys are supposed to mash together. Just do what you do well,
I love that. And then my favorite final question: what advice are you giving your 10-year-old self based on your life experiences so far?
Yeah. That's a good one. I'm a guy that jumps around a lot, like multiple business ventures. I mean, I'm 23 and I've been in so many different things, and I definitely have like shiny object syndrome. And so I got really, I was very down on myself for that. And other people were really down on me for that. Of like, you just started this. Why are you going and doing this? Why are you going and doing this? And so I think I would tell my 10-year-old self, like, hey, bud, you're built different, and that you are very curious and you want to be involved in very different many things. You're a learner. You want to see just how different people do different things. And that's a good thing. Don't let anyone tell you that's a bad thing. And when it's time and you believe in something, it's going to be hard because of how you're built. But sometimes it's time to anchor down and go, I'm not going to try this for 2 months. I'm going to try this for a year. I'm not going to try it for a year. I'm going to do everything in my power to make this happen. And so, I would just like, honor the way that that 10-year-old is built. And at the same time, say it's going to be, because of how you're built, it's going to be a bit hard to anchor down and stay with one thing, but it's going to be so worth it. And just look at the time horizon. Don't think about what you can do in the next 2 weeks. Think about what you can do in the next 2 years, and will it be worth it? So, if I stopped the cleaning business in 2 months, I'd probably go, I lost money the first month because I tried to grow so fast and put too much in the market. I didn't learn it, but look at where we are now, by sticking to it and by being willing to learn and not blaming, the model itself, or blaming, Booking Wall, or like the clients, or blaming the cleaners, which is what you see many people do, but taking extreme ownership over, no, this was on me. this was completely and within my control, and this is for me to solve and change, not because of any external factors. So
I love that. I love that. Alex, thank you for taking the time today, sharing your story, your journey. I mean, I don't want to call it a short, I'll call it a young journey with the cleaning service. Wish you many years of success for you and your partner. And just keep up the great work, man. You're young. The one thing that you have, I don't. You have that time. You have the age. I'm 31. You just said you're 23. You have 8 years to catch up to me, but I wish I could have those 8 years back, and with the knowledge I have now, and it's just nothing you can, just the way life is, right? So wish you all the success. I know the team here wishes everybody who uses us, whether they continue to use us or they move on, we wish everybody the best success. Because life is short, and it's all about the experiences that we have. So thank you again for sharing your experience with me. It was truly a pleasure.
Michael, thank you. I appreciate you, making this podcast and helping people out, serving people, man, because that's really what we do too, man. It's just to serve others and love others, so I appreciate you, Michael.
Thank you. And for everyone watching, until next time on another episode of the Qualified Podcast, take care.